Good morning. Hope you had a good night's rest. And have you been able to complete the policy assignment that sir gave you? To upload it. So we will be sharing the link, or you can have it in your systems, and we will ask you to either mail or upload it so that we can evaluate whatever you have done. Hope you had 2 days of exposure to various facets of cyber law and cyber privacy. And today morning we will deal with another important area in cyber law and privacy, which has gained a lot of significance post-COVID and during COVID, and also with the advancement in technology, because we have a lot of online meets, a lot of videos being recorded, and a lot of content being uploaded onto the internet. And who owns copyright? Like yesterday we were talking about copyrights, how a copyright is being executed, and what are the rights and privileges for a copyright, and if you want to make money out of it, how do you protect your copyrights, and how do you give importance to your patents or your own intellectual property. So what we normally do is we have a set of hardware and a set of software technologies designed to control how to use, edit and share content or information assets online and offline. So we have unknowingly used a lot of these technologies in order to protect the content, online content that is present. So these technological protection measures, as it intends to protect the copyright for technology enabled content, require a set of policies, a set of processes, and some software tools or hardware tools in order to execute them. And companies will limit the access, distribution and control of protected digital content. You have how many of you have your own YouTube channel? Students? What type of content do you host in it? Spiritual content, excellent, okay. And do you have rights management? When you created your content, you would have been asked a set of questions. YouTube would have taken you through a set of questions. Did you read all the compliance that they gave you? And are you monetizing it? It is not monetized. So as long as we have a set of content and it is being used by others, the rights of it we hold, but since YouTube is hosting it, providing you with the server infrastructure and the various hardware that is required in order to host your content, YouTube takes a set of copyrights, okay? And the content also has to be verified that it is age appropriate, that it is not detrimental to the security of our country, and the content is useful for a particular group of people. And when you use it on YouTube, you have a condition there, whether it is adult content or it should be open for children also. So you will have to specify, and if it is children's content, there are more stringent laws that are enabled to it. Basically, from a computer science or computer user perspective, your digital rights management changes according to how the user will use it and how the content provider will monetize it. But from the perspective of the technological partner that you are connecting with, the perspective changes, okay? So basically digital rights would be given either for a video or for audio, music composition that you have made, or a lecture material that you have created, or even a small poem that you have written, that you have published digitally, for which you claim rights to it, okay? A blog that has been created. So any type of content will fit into if it goes into the digital media and if it is being used in the digital platform and it is available to everyone, then there are rights. When I talked to you about the copyrights yesterday, I showed you about the Creative Commons license. Okay, a Creative Commons license is us giving the digital rights to all people, saying anyone who wants it will be able to download the content and use it. So there are different types of Creative Commons licenses available. One is where you do not ask for any rights on the issue, on the material or digital content. Another one is for help purposes of increasing the usage of it or spreading it to other people, or for socially relevant principles, you can use it free. You don't use it in order to monetize. So there are different types of laws associated with them. Today what we are trying to look at is the technological perspective from the computer's point of view, how we work with digital rights and what different companies work with. Did you go through the material that I gave you? I had shared a PDF with you yesterday about what would be the objective and what are the content that would be talked about. The next slide. Oh, I can go. Yes. There is one more slide in between. This is the second slide. Yes. We have users, we have content creators, and then rights with them. Okay. Basically, the user will create a content or they can use their own content. A user is a YouTube viewer who views a video. You go on to YouTube and you view a movie on it, or an educational video, or the GIAN course lecture that is happening now, and you are viewing it. The content is being created by the GIAN portal, and they have funded in order to take a video of the entire session so that it can be hosted on the GIAN portal, right? So the user or the content creator will create a given digital content, and the digital content is present which will have some rights associated with it. Now the content will have rights and the user will own the rights of the digital content they have. Who is the creator will own the digital rights. This digital rights have to be acknowledged with everyone. You know, this is the owner of the content. Normally in our country, we forward a lot of videos. We don't worry about where this video has originated from or who the content creator is. Okay, but there is a background activity going on where we have security professionals who continue to look at certain videos that create a lot of disturbances. Recently there was lynching because of a few videos that were sent, and WhatsApp had to give the government the source of the information. Initially it was against their policy, then there came a rule, and then it was given. That is why in WhatsApp now you will be able to forward only to 5 people, not more than 5 people. It is because of you send it to a lot of people, then it creates a lot of problems, and WhatsApp made the law stringent. Then people moved on to Telegram. Okay, where Telegram provided with a lot of anonymity. So it's a balance between your privacy and the security of the country. So when both are being put in a balance, when one goes up, the other goes down. So this is the normal problem we have. Even for a user, you create your own content. Now, how are these contents verified? If you take YouTube for instance, you just take a video, you upload it on YouTube. Does YouTube accept whatever you upload inside? No. What does it do? Review will be there. They will be going through your content to check if it is right, and then it is being uploaded. Even if the review is right, but if someone who views it For the reviewers, the content would be right, but for someone who views the video, the content is not right, then they can submit a review to it. You know, we call it crowdsourcing, which was very popular, where a lot of people flag a live video that is being sent in, then YouTube immediately blocks that. So there are lots of issues associated with the digital content that comes streaming in, because they can be used for the right purpose and they can also be used for the wrong purpose. Okay, next slide. So what are the various technology that is being used, or methods that are being used in order to make digital rights management possible? Number one, we have access control, very old methodology. What is access control? Say we want to restrict people entering inside this room. There is a door and then there is a lock on the door. Simple access control. The person who has the key would be able to enter inside the room, or a person with an identity card would be able to enter inside the room. Okay, so this is what we call as access control, trying to identify who is the person who is trying to read the document or look at the content. Because in a cinema theater, which people used to flock to earlier, there would be tickets. You would pay for the ticket and then walk into a room and view the content. Now on your laptop you have the facility of viewing it. So how would you convert the process of taking a ticket, paying for the viewing, and then looking at it on your mobile or in your laptops? Because companies also want you to do that. Because the more they open it up to the devices you have, more people will view it. Very less people go to a cinema theater now. Okay, and most theaters have lost their patronage, unless it's for other reasons that we visit a theater. But then there should be that mechanism translated onto the devices that we use. So every content provider has their own set of policies that they have written down. Yesterday you were working on various policies, right? When you draft all these policies, you will find this is just simple. Now they say who is going to use it, how it is going to be used. We don't worry about the implications of the policy unless we look at the legal aspects behind it. Normally we take these policies for granted and we just scroll down, click on I agree, and then just continue using whatever we want to use, right? But the I agree agrees for a lot of issues, and unless you know what it is, it's very difficult. If you are a student, no problem. If you are a faculty and just beginning your career, no problem. But if your profile has a lot of background to it and people can sue you for the content that you use, then you'll have to be very, very careful. Normally I will have a PPT wherein it will only be pictures. I normally don't put words in my PPT for my classes, because pictures convey a lot more. Words we can talk. I can talk whenever I want. But what happens is that if I am talking about digital rights, I should be worried about the content I am using here, and the rights of it also has to be included. So this picture I have taken it from this link. I found this picture interesting. It suited to my way of working because I could not create the content of my own. So I have given a reference to what is the link that I have used in it. Right? This is what we call as approving the rights of a particular individual, because this is not my picture. If I am showing it with my name underneath it, then I should acknowledge who had given this picture to me, right? And we have beautiful content, created online, and if we'll have to use it, the digital rights, either if they have given a Creative Commons license, because this is not monetizing the content, we are just using it in order to educate people. So mostly the breach of contract doesn't happen in the case, but it's good to acknowledge or reference whatever material we use from a third party. Access control, we were talking about access control. Who accesses what information? There should be permissions for the person who tries to use them. We normally have read permissions, then write permissions, and then execute permissions. Okay, normally in file management, if you are from computer science, you would talk about access control as people who can look at a document, edit it, or people who can just view the given document, or people who will know that the document exists alone, they will not be able to open it. Even on Gmail, you will have these privileges of what you assign to it, a particular user, when you are sharing a particular document. Okay, so that we call it as access control. Even your bank statements, will you be able to open your bank statements directly, the PDF that comes in? No. What do? You give a password to it, and the password is something related with the information, you know, your date of birth, your PAN number, and you will have to open it. This we call it as access control, where you don't directly access the information, your banking data, your health data, and your confidential information like your Aadhaar number, your fingerprints. Okay, all these, there should be access control. Okay, I'll ask you one question now. How many of you have a mobile phone in which your fingerprint ID is stored inside? You use your fingerprint ID in order to open your mobile. Face recognition. Okay, why did you do that? Easy, convenient, usability. You know, one of my scholar was working on this principle of usability of a app. He was from IDRBT banking app, and only then I was aware of the term usability. Okay, we all have password given as our fingerprint. Okay, do you know how easy it is to hack inside your mobile phone? No? How can anyone hack into your mobile phone and grab your data? Security people know.
By sending spam emails or
okay, spam emails are very old methodology of spam emails, then pen drives, you know, the exe file on pen drives, they are all old school now. Of course, it's being still exploited, but they are all old school now. Just a WhatsApp missed call, and you don't even have to pick it up, okay? And people will be able to hack into your mobile if they feel that you have the content. The only advantage we have now is that we are able to blend into a cloud. We are 1 billion people, so we are just a small person, you know, and no one is going to use our mobile phone. But if they know that you have the content within you, it just takes a call, you know, missed call. Earlier it was like, unless you pick a call, they will not be able to hack into your system. But then just a call that you give through them and they exploit. Of course, WhatsApp has patched a lot, but there are still vulnerabilities available. It can come in a picture, embedded in a picture. We have examples of steganographic malwares, and then after the malwares came, you know, in recent years, malwares have been the worst way of exploiting people. You have a legitimate screen on front of you, but that screen is actually a malware, and you will not be able to find out. Even earlier we used to say there will be a lock symbol, a green lock symbol, and then you will have a URL printed on your screen. But if people want to target you and crack your systems, it is very important that you have to be very careful, because all the mobile phones that we use, even those handset models that come with pre-installed operating systems, and those systems have their own clouds available. Okay, I was not aware of all this till my son got addicted to YouTube. Then I wanted to uninstall YouTube on my MI phone. I was not able to do that. Then I went researching. I found out that all these phones have an Android OS, and by default all of Google's content were present. I was a fan of Google for a very long time, You know, they provided us with Gmail, gave us YouTube and all that. But when they started exploiting the privacy of an individual, now I have an iPhone just because of that. You know, I went to the shop, I wanted my son to have a mobile that did not have YouTube on it. I went to and I found only iPhone gives you the option of either you install or not install. Now they said, madam, you have iPhone, do this or that. I said, iPhone provides me with security and I don't have any options enabled on it because of the access control that I give to the phone. It is that you have to provide with controls for your mobile phone so that your mobile doesn't exploit you. If you compromise on usability and say it is easy, everyone is doing it, what is going to happen later on? You know, maybe one mistake would haunt you in your career somewhere down the line when you become old. So you will have to be very careful about it. That is where this privacy plays a very important role. Your information is yours. Your intellectual ability is yours. What you give out is yours and you should maintain access to it. Because every company does that. No, every company that creates a big portal provides with security for you, and then they say that they will gather some information from you so that they will improve on themselves. Okay, so that information that we give, if we do not have any control over, then we are allowing others to be exploited. Like your mobile, phone storing your fingerprint information, and some of us tried the faces, but with makeup or changes in the facial contours, it became a problem. And biometric, when you store it inside your mobile and your mobile is compromised, then your biometric is also compromised. It's very sensitive data. Okay, never save your passwords either on your laptop or on a mobile device. You can type the password in every time you do, and that is a way in which you protect your own digital rights. Okay, because I'm talking about this because we all continuously use devices, and on our laptops we just save the password, and when we finish our work and just get up, we just leave the laptop as such and keep walking. What happens to the content? What if someone comes shoulder surfing me and tries to get into my system and tries to misuse it? All these are problems that happen. We call this, you would have heard this term, no? Cyber hygiene. And a lot of user awareness is being generated on it. If you look at SBI website, SBI online, your banking website, how easy is it to log into your SBI account, bank account? What are the access control measures that the banking system uses in order to let you log into the system? There is a password, okay. There is a username.
Password, and then now we are actually going towards MFA, multi-factor authentication.
Yes, multi-factor authentication. You have a CAPTCHA underneath. What is the CAPTCHA for? To check whether you are a human being or a bot. Okay, and then the multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is another access control method wherein you have either an item which you own or which you know or which you are, and you use all these authentication systems in order to work. Okay, what you are is your biometric, your iris, your fingerprints or your facial features. Okay, what you know is your passwords, your keys which you type inside, and what you have is your ATM card or your mobile phones in which you have an OTP being sent, and you use that OTP in order to log into a system. Okay, so we have three ways of trying to authenticate, and these we categorize as types of access control into a given system. Then we have digital rights enforcement. Enforcement is to let people pay for whatever content they try to use. If you want to view a Netflix video, you cannot directly view them. There are some free versions or teasers available, but for the whole view, you will have to pay for it in order to do it. Okay, so there are payment portals that connect us to it, and third-party payment portals that just do the payment transaction alone, which are verified and commonly accepted as trustworthy. So the banking's method of digital rights enforcement is different. The entertainment industry uses a different method. Gaming industry uses a different method. What the gaming industry does is they will give you 1, 2 and 3 levels free, after which you will see a lock. So by the time you play the 3rd level, you will be so interested in the game, you would want to go to the 4th level. You won't mind paying a small amount in order to go to the next level. So this is a part of the marketing strategy that exploits the privacy of an individual. Okay, so now it is being made mandatory that the age of the user also has to be found out with the new laws which we were talking about yesterday. Okay, then we have license management. Licenses, we normally in academia we are not worried about a license. Okay, have you heard about versions of softwares? Version 1, version 2, version 3, different versions of softwares, each has its own license, okay, and law has a different perspective to license. I don't have a lot of idea about it, but this license provides with digital rights to the creator in order to use the content and hold the content, and if it is breached, then it can be taken to the law, okay. And watermarking. Watermarking, a simple example of watermarking is you take a bond paper and hold it to light, you will see what is the maker of the paper, no? TPL, then the name of the manufacturer would be seen on the paper in light colors. And when you look at the normal paper, it will appear white. Only when you hold it on light, you will see the written on it. This we call it as a watermark. Watermark will be embedded. It can be robust, it can be fragile, or it can be different types of watermarks are also available where you can see a visible watermark. If you look at iStock photos, have you seen that iStock written across the page? That we call it as visible watermarking, where the creator has a watermark embedded inside. And in your YouTube videos, do you use a logo? Yes, and that is actually a watermarking algorithm that works behind it, and the logo will be present on all the videos to show that it is your particular content. Okay, so watermarks are used in order to prove the authenticity of a particular content that we create, and if the watermark is not visible, then it is called as embedded or invisible watermarking, where you will have to apply an algorithm in order to prove that this is your content. Okay, how do artists prove that the painting is original or not? You have the Leonardo da Vinci's piece, canvas piece, no? How do they prove that this was exactly Leonardo da Vinci's piece? When they get a new discovery of a piece hidden somewhere in a place and they want to test whether it is from Leonardo da Vinci, how do they do it? Any guess? There is no signature. Signature is what we call as a watermark, which in today's terminology. If there is no signature and there is only a painting, a beautiful painting laid out, how do you trace the authenticity of it? Any guesses? Huh? Excellent, excellent. There are other pictures which he had done, and the strokes, the way they lay it, the way they camouflage a mistake that they did. It's similar to our handwriting. You know, every handwriting is unique and there is a style or a pattern associated with it, and we use the pattern in order to find out who the author is, right? So based on that, they try to find out what is the previous method of doing and trace the originality of a given content, okay? So that the rights can be properly given to the original content. Even if there's hundreds of fakes available, we will still be able to know what is real. We don't have to worry about the fakes available. If we are authentic, reality will always give, the originality of a content can always be proved. So we don't have to worry about how will I protect my content as long as we are original, right? Then usage tracking. Even in YouTube videos, I'm taking YouTube because all of you would have seen shorts, videos in them. How does YouTube track your usage? YouTube videos? All of you have a Facebook account? Yes? And you see videos on Facebook or Instagram Reels? Yes? How does Facebook, Instagram, YouTube look at these videos to find out how much you have known? Yes? Watch history, yes, excellent. There is a watch history which tells you how many videos you have seen, how many videos you have spent 1 second to view it, how many videos you have seen till the end, excellent, yes? You were telling something? History of the viewers. How does YouTube know what content you have viewed, how much time you have spent in order to view the content? That is because of usage tracking. Okay, and what do they get out of it? It's a highly monetized industry. Okay, you look at a few videos or spend a little time looking at a few videos. If you see, all the other videos would be of similar genre, so that you are interested in a particular type, maybe comedy, then comedy videos would be shown to you. If you are interested in romance, then romance would be shown to you. Right? And they are able to do this usage tracking in order to create a personal profile of an individual. That is where all the technological giants are at the crossroads now. You know, Meta, Google CEO, Meta CEO, everyone had to face the federal governments because of this problem with usage tracking, which they were exploiting. And there is one movie called Social Dilemma, excellent. Social Dilemma, please note it down. There is a trailer available and on Netflix it's there. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can go through it. So you can watch the video on Prime. It's an excellent demonstration. I normally give it to my cybersecurity students, people who study cyber security. It talks about the CEOs of companies or ex-employees from all these technological giants, Google, Facebook. They say how much the company is able to know about us, and they give a beautiful graphical representation of it. Say I'm here today. Google knows what are my likes and dislikes. After seeing that video only, I decided I would give up my Android version of mobile and moved on to iOS, because iOS gives me an option. It says, do you want me to do it? If I say no, it just keeps silent. Whereas in Android, there is no option at all. You will have to use whatever they give you. Right? And they constantly harvest data, which websites you are going into. And if you walk into a footwear shop yesterday, do a transaction there, the next day on your Google sites you will have a footwear advertisement available. Okay, that is how they try to combine location data, where you have been, and try to combine your past history, browsing history, everything is being combined together in order to make a complete psychological profile. And in that video, they give a beautiful example of how a user decided to stop using his mobile phone, and he puts it down, and then the team from Google knows that the user has stopped using it, and they try to lure him. You would have done that. During exams, I will not use mobile phones and I keep it down and it says beep, beep, beep every time. Okay, and every time it says beep, you would want to take up your mobile phone to see it, and your most favorite video would be on top. So that, and how does Google know about it? It is because of the tracking, usage tracking that they do, and this has a lot of consequences. But the problem is Google has already given us enough free space, enough free videos. So as students, we don't mind how much of usage tracking Google does, but remember, Google is trying to gather all these details, give it to their AI systems in order to train their AI systems, and they are able to customize or tailor make whatever content they want us to view. Okay, this doesn't infringe on our privacy. What infringes on our privacy is they move one step forward and then they start creating public opinions. That is where the problem lies in. When this industry tries to create public opinion, 5 or 6 people together in a group, can you understand what I am trying to put forth across? This public opinion tries to infringe into the basic privacy right of an individual, where everyone does it and I am also supposed to do it. So we are pushed into a conundrum where we are not able to think expansively. That mostly happened after COVID. Students didn't know what to expect when they came and sat inside the class. After 2 years of lockdown, we opened up the college and one batch came inside. Till they went outside, they still did not enjoy the rights and privileges as a student. Because they had been inside their rooms, they had been inside their house, and they did not know what are the privileges that the student community can enjoy when they come in. This was not the case pre-COVID. Okay, so if your usage rights are being tracked and if you are made into a psychological profile online, people can exploit that in order to take control over our vulnerability. It's not that you'll have to go to a psychologist to understand who you are. Go to Google. Google will tell you what exactly you like and what you do, and without you telling it. So you'll have to be very careful about the information that you give out. Your digital rights is yours and it has to be properly maintained. Now, I told you the disadvantages of usage tracking. What are the advantages of usage tracking? Okay. Advantages of usage tracking is you would have the sleep time monitor, downtime monitor. When you want your mobiles to be off, and it will give you a space, a time from 9 to 9 in the morning, I don't want to use my mobile, I will be able to track it. Or the amount of data that you have used, you are able to track how much of data has been used, and you give a cap to them and say I should not use above this data. So that also helps with that. Those are all positive aspects of user tracking. We use all the positive aspects, but we don't worry about the other facet of it. Be aware that your data is being stored somewhere, and if it is on the cloud, you have to be very careful, because we very happily take our mobiles, take all our pictures and then upload it inside cloud. Okay, it's in the cloud. Whenever I want, I can take it. We are very excited about it. Okay, but one day it will tell you from the cloud that this is Janet, this is her son, this is her husband, and these are the extended families, these are the places she visited. I was stunned when Google told me 1 year ago you were in this place, you went inside it. Why does Google bother about where I went 1 year ago? I stopped uploading my photos on Google. If needed, I would download from Google, but never upload it, because that is tracking your usage and trying to make you connected. You may feel empowered now, but there are certain things which you don't want Google to remind you of, and when it reminds you, then it becomes a problem. Okay. You will have to celebrate anniversary, and you celebrated this last year, you would have got messages like this from Google. Initially you feel happy about it, no? As a student, someone is recognizing me. Google is telling this to me, I'm really happy about it. But once you become your own individual, your data is yours. You don't give it out to anyone else. Then it becomes an infringement on your own privacy in order to do it. Digital rights, every footprint that you leave, every time you log into a device, an ISP knows that you have logged in. And, someone from the federal agencies would be able to get that data. Even the text that we send, okay, it is not completely confidential. SMS that we send, the calls that we make, everything can be used by the legal officers in order to establish any case against us. So we will have to be very careful on what you send. Recently, I was tracking the Hamas-Israel war. And Hamas tried to camouflage all the digital technology that Israel had by using runners with just chits of paper in their hands, and they just move from one place to the other in order to send information. And they completely fooled all the AI technology that the country of Israel was using. Right? And this is where digital rights, usage tracking, it's very, very important. And you would have recently listened to a news wherein a drug kingpin was arrested because his wife sent in a tweet on their holiday. Not a tweet, I think it was a picture that was posted online about where they spent a holiday, and immediately the federal agencies were able to locate the person in order to arrest him. And it's just one tweet, and it cost a lifetime of work. He could hide himself, and it is not only your problem, it is about your extended family's problem also when you are in the federal net. Okay, of course we are not worried about law, we are not worried, we are all good citizens, but data is our right. Please do not give up your right for whatever data you have, because they can use this data. Earlier it was like a lot of data you have, it's of no use because it's just junk. Okay, but now we have algorithms that can sift through this data and make sense out of it. And people have the technology that is required in order to gather all this data. And there is a time now when Google says you can have your data within yourself. We don't want your data, but they are constantly updating their software. What they are doing is they are training their models with the data that they leave with you. This is the latest trend. They call it federated models, federation or federated models, because they don't need any more large data. They have their own Google Brain created. They have their own DL algorithms, ML algorithms working on them, and they have sufficiently trained it. Now all they want is the usage patterns. So they say have your data with you, and we will just take whatever information you give, whatever training of the models you use, and then try to find out what is the methodology with which a group of people work, so that we only gather data, the wisdom from you, and we don't want your raw data. Okay, so the technology has moved on from just ML models or deep machine learning models or deep learning models on to federated models where people work, leave the data with you and just gather some information from you. Your Google Gboard, when you type, it gives you a suggestion. When you type some text on WhatsApp, it gives you a word for suggestion. Earlier, if you 5 years back, it would give you American English. Okay, so you will have to retype everything. Today, if you are typing a name, it will take it from your contact and the entire name would be printed on it. That is because they are using federated models to it in order to update your content in them. Okay, so this usage tracking is very important. You will have to be aware of what is your information that you are sharing with others. Content encryption has been there for a very long time. Cryptography, you would be familiar with various methods of cryptography where you camouflage the data, you hide the data, or you try to scramble data so that it doesn't make sense to the person who sees them. And that is how you try to protect your information. And in order to unscramble it, there should be a key, and the key you get it after you pay some money to it. Okay, and you would have studied about public-private key encryptions, symmetric key encryptions. Any idea about them? Because that is a big area of itself. If you are interested in cyber security, you would have to have an idea. Yes. Cryptography and cyber security. Cryptography is a course by itself which you will have to explore. Okay, so we call that to be content encryption. This was the oldest method of doing it. You know, your Morse code method of typing tap, and each one had a code, and you will only know the taps. At the end, you have to decode in order to get the information. So this is a very old method, and there are a lot of algorithms that have come up that help with increasing the content. Okay, encryption methods. Next slide. So the digital rights management will protect the intellectual property. The intellectual property can be music, videos, e-books, even graphics or cartoons that you draw, doodles that you draw. They can also be put under copyright laws. Okay, how control access to content? It allows content creators to decide who can access their content, how they can use it, and for how long they can use it. These three facets of it are very important, and it gives the creator the ability to use the given content, whatever they have. And the most advantages about this is it generates revenue. And yesterday they were talking about pirated videos. You know, you have a CD, you burn the video, and as it is being streamed, you just use your own camera in order to capture the video and then look at it later on because it is costly. Those are all methods of data piracy that is being used, and it eats into the revenue that is normally generated. So how do you protect your own content? That is because of the digital rights that are being given, and it has licensing agreements also. Okay, from the law point of view, these licenses play a very important role in trying to monetize content we use. And it reduces unauthorized distribution of content, where copying or distributing content without permission is difficult. You have a write protected CD-ROM, read protected. You don't allow people to add something to it or copy from it. So there are different technologies, both hardware and software, that have been developed all through in order to protect the digital content that is used. And there is a separate set of people on the other side of the law sitting in order to find out loopholes so that they can exploit it and try to enjoy the content that they are not supposed to use. Okay, then it supports compliance with copyright laws and prevents the piracy of the digital content. This piracy is different from privacy. Okay, privacy is my own data. Piracy is trying to access someone else's data. We know it's derived from the words pirates. You know, a person who tries to loot from someone and tries to give it to someone else. Okay, so this digital piracy is a crime, and we have to be very careful about it. And even if we are using the pirated software which has been given by someone else, still we are susceptible to law enforcement. Okay, enable customizable security measures to protect the digital content from unauthorized access and copying, where you allow only certain individuals access to the content and certain individuals no access to the content. Customizable is the example you can take is on Google. You know, you have your Gmails, or you share a file from one person to the other, you give them customizable privileges of either downloading your content or viewing your content or just executing your content. Okay, so those are some of the customizable security measures we use. Improve the user experience. by making it easier for users to access and use digital content in a secure and legal manner. Your Amazon Prime account allows you, you pay some subscription, you will be able to view some videos. And your cable TV, that provides you with digital content. So there is a positive side to it and there is a negative side to it. If we know the rights and the privileges that we have, we would be able to use them. Tracking and analytics, DRM can track usage data and provide analytics to help content creators understand user behavior and preferences. Have you, as a YouTube creator, have you looked at your analytics? What preferences and behaviors did you learn from them? Geographical views. Okay. From which geography you got more views? Excellent. Okay. Okay. What is the preference? Okay. So these are all information from the viewers that is taken and given to a content creator. Okay. And it all comes under the I agree that we have signed, right? And he would be able to know how many male, female people viewed. That is usage tracking that YouTube does, and we have given rights to YouTube in order to track all this details from them. Innovation and creativity, it encourages innovation and creativity by protecting the rights of the content creators. After YouTube came in, even if you want to cook something, you go to YouTube to look at a recipe. And it has become very interesting. The only thing is you should have extra hours, long hours of your day rather than 24 hours in order to sift through all this content, right? And this encourages innovation because anyone who wants to put forth their views or share some information, you can share them. The other side of it is, how will you know that a particular content is correct? How will you know whether the information they are giving from the YouTube is right? One simple example, I type on Google search, I have a headache, and I request Google to give me some suggestions. What will Google do? Have you tried it? No? Yes. If you have not tried it, please try it. It's very interesting. I have a headache. Headache remedies.
First is dehydration.
It will give you some.
Last one is brain cancer.
Yes. So it gives a lot of information underneath, and Google doesn't take risk. So it gives you everything, and it will end with these are the consequences. Right?
It actually creates more headache.
It creates more headache. That's why recently one professor was saying there's a blood test institute in Madurai wherein you go give your blood sample to them, they would test your blood and they would do some DNA prototyping on that, run it on ML models, and they will tell whether you have cancer or you will get cancer or not. Prediction. Okay. So as soon as he told that, one old professor there said, even if they say you don't have cancer or you have cancer, and they give some blood phototyping, even if you don't get cancer, you will get it because psychologically you get affected. This is where all online digital content or content providers do a type of psychological manipulation in order to get hold of their customers. Therein lies the catch, and it's very detrimental because the Gen Z students, the new generation, come right from birth, they have mobiles. Either they look at the mobile phones or the parents give them the mobile phone so that the children don't make any disturbances. You go on a train or anywhere, there will be one small child at least with a mobile with a cartoon running on it because they are silent. Okay. The whole scenario has changed now, but it has a very bad effect on the development of the individual, and the more this child looks at the videos, the more money Google makes because there are advertisers, there are search engines that try to optimization algorithms that run on it in order to make more people consume the content. So that encourages creativity from the users, from the content providers, but as for the users, it also increases the amount of time they spend addicted to a particular device. Okay, the next slide. So DRM provides with copy prevention, copy restriction, password protection, watermarks, device controls. There are examples. Most of these examples I've already talked to you about it in the previous slide. Okay. Next, you can go through this by yourself. Types of digital rights management: publishing, education, software, gaming, corporate data, healthcare, media, entertainment, business. Everything is online now, right? Even end-to-end business with no office space at all happens online on digital media, and these digital platforms of course have given the last mile connectivity, has connected people, empowered people, but every positive method has its own disadvantages. It's like fire, no? If you have fire, you can say hundreds of advantages to it, but left uncontrolled without any checks and policies, without any framework, without any copyright licensing or rights management to it, it creates Los Angeles for us. Okay, and it becomes a problem. So there should be checks and balances. That is where the policies that we are trying to train you on framing come into picture. Okay, how we do it. It may look simple, but it has a lot of legal implications to the policies that we frame, the laws that we try to incorporate in order to make decisions. Okay, so media, entertainment, now an entire lifestyle is revolving around the digital platform. You want to book services are being offered. You want to book a hotel room, you have OYO. You want to take a car, you have Uber. You want to eat some food, Zomato and Swiggy helps you. Okay, ambulance services, you have Blinkit. Name it, you have it as a digital service available, but how do they use your data and how much of your data are you sharing with them makes a lot of sense. Yes. This is an example of some of the policies. I've given it in the material that I had shared yesterday. You can go through them in order to understand them. I think I've given you iPhone's fair play in yesterday's material. Google has a Widevine DRM, proprietary digital rights management software developed by Google. Every technological firm has their own DRM platform, their own policies, depending on the content they have and depending on the usage of it. So the content protection system is divided into different sections and protects major web browsers with both Android and iOS, and there are a lot of partners with Google Play, YouTube, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime Video, HBO Max, Hulu, Peacock, Discovery Plus, Paramount Plus, and many more. Okay, I am familiar only with YouTube, right? So they all have their own policies framed, and if you type in Google Widevine, you will have the set of technological methods that they use in order to do it. Okay, and most of it would confine to what you had studied in your digital cybersecurity platform methods. Next. Apple's Fair Play ensures secure delivery of streaming media to devices through a HTTP live streaming protocol, and Fair Play streaming allows content providers, encoding vendors and delivery networks to encrypt content, securely exchange keys and protect playback on iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, whatever is their platforms. Okay, so the encryption method and the secure key is just a public private key that they use in order to initially exchange a session key, and then the session key is used in order to stream the content across between the provider and the user. And at times you will have to get a token in order to access the service from the content provider if there are a lot of services available in them. It's similar to using a common printer, no? You will have to book a slot, then use the printer so that you can avail the services of them. Okay, next. Microsoft Play Ready, also distribution of content over a network and prevents unauthorized use of its software. It ensures seamless sharing of protected content among devices and between people. And when Zoom and the Microsoft Teams came into picture, DRM also played a role. You just download or copy content of all the meetings. If you want, you can record and store it in the drive cloud, or else you can store it on your own system. Those are all privacy options that are given by the system in order to hold the content that we have. If it's a confidential meeting, you do not want to record the meeting at all. So you are just facilitating the meeting. Okay, so all that helps you protect the content among the devices and between peoples. And WhatsApp became popular because of its end-to-end encryption. Okay, when I communicate with him, only the content is visible to both of us. Even if the encrypted content is got by WhatsApp, it will not be able to know what exactly the content is, and it is not stored exactly as the content on their servers. Only the encrypted content is stored and the key is destroyed after a communication happens. Okay, so even if the government wants to look at the keys, they will not be able to do it. Get the keys to decrypt it. They can only get the scrambled data. That's why there were a lot of problems, because people used WhatsApp, and now they are using metadata in order to prove whether communication has happened based on the information that WhatsApp can provide with. Next slide. That's it. Okay. So these are some of the examples that I've given you. What's the time? 11. Have I overshot the time?
You are keeping up the time. 11:02.
Oh, my time, I thought I'd give you an exercise at the end. Okay. So you can just look at all these examples that I've given you and try to understand how exactly the digital rights management for any one social platform that you are using most. You may be using YouTube or WhatsApp, whatever social media platform you use, try to trace down what is their digital rights management principle they have, the documents they use, and try to create a one-page write-up on that. Okay, you will be working on the assignment later on, so during the tutorial you can expand on this and continue working. Okay, any questions you have? My only point that you should take home is that, remember, on the digital media, any content that you give is for public view. It's like taking all your gold and throwing it out in the roads. We don't normally do it. Your data is your right, so don't give up the privacy or the security of your own information. And don't let people profile you. Understand what your psychology is. Do you go and tell people, I am depressed? I don't feel good today, I'm really unhappy every day, but every time you give that sad emoji, you are giving out that emotion. We don't normally tell, but we use those emojis in order to broadcast our information, and you won't believe Google picks up. So Google has a complete profile. These days of the year, this fellow is depressed. So during these days, if I send him this video, he will see, no matter what the cost behind it. That is marketing strategy, monetizing content based on manipulating your psychology. Okay, so don't let any device or any software try to take control over you. The moment it happens, please disconnect, remove it from your systems, and try to enjoy the nature that is around you, so that you would be able to keep your heads right. Okay, because with AI and ML, there is a lot of fake information also coming in. Knowing what is right and what is wrong is very, very difficult unless you keep a balanced head. Okay, And that is possible only when you disconnect yourself or de-addict yourself from the digital media and know what is right and what is wrong from a human perspective rather than from a Google perspective, which I would call now. Okay, thank you.